What is up, guys? We are back with another reaction video. This one was highly requested by a lot of you guys. It was the meaning of the Confederate flag by Walter Williams. Now, if you were to ask me what the Confederate flag means, I honestly have no idea. It was the South in the Civil War. They wanted slaves. And honestly, it's just a bad connotation in my mind. Everything to do Confederate is evil. That's just like what I've been told. So I have no idea what to expect. So why don't we just jump into it and see what it's all about. All right, let's do it.
Another text for you, Dr. Williams. Hello, Walter. My name is Devin, and I'm a 25-year-old half-black and half-white male from Virginia. I was just wondering what your opinion is on the new political correctness movement and the sudden cry of cultural appropriation from self-proclaimed allies of minorities.
Well, I think we should ignore the so-called politically correct strictures. When people say to me, well, Williams, you can't say that. Oh, I say, well, damn if I can, because the First Amendment of the United States Constitution guarantees me the right.
Facts.
And so I think that what we ought to do is ignore these people that are demanding that we change our language to accommodate some particular values that they might have.
Front page of the New York Times recently was this article.
I'm actually baffled by the fact that cancel culture is what it is. There's this small minority of people that just want to attack and just cancel completely. Like, honestly, why the flip am I supposed to listen to you? Like, I'll just say whatever the heck I want. If you don't like it, don't freaking listen. I don't understand how cancel culture has a following. It freaking does. I love this dude so far.
Costume correctness on campus. Feel free to be you, but not me. And it's an article about what is acceptable. And Pocahontas, Caitlyn Jenner, and Pancho Villa are no-nos. Also off limits are geisha girls and samurai warriors. But you can be a Crayola crayon, a cup of Starbucks, or Where's Waldo?
I think that's really going very far. I think our grandparents would be shocked by the kind of things that we accept as that we just accept today. I think we should ignore it.
Do you see political correctness at George Mason?
Probably so, but I ignore it there as well. I don't see it in any of my classrooms, and I'm not politically correct at all. I say whatever I want to say, and my colleagues tolerate me. I've been there. I think I started my 35th year there.
Steve in Arlington
I
Heights,
have a genuine question. Do people like cancel culture? Like, is there anyone out there that's like a proponent of it and like, yes, we need more of this? When I'm in an environment like that where I have to mince my words and I have to say certain things and I don't want to step on anyone's toes, it just stresses me out. I have to limit and prohibit the words I say just to not offend your feelings. Like, I'm a well-intentioned person. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. I'm just going to say what I believe, and obviously that's going to offend certain people, especially nowadays because everyone's so soft and weak-willed. But who is actually a proponent of this? Who is like, yes, more cancel culture? Are there people out there like that? Because that must be a sad life.
Texts into you. Can you speak to the anti-Confederate hysteria currently sweeping the nation?
Yes, I think that I think people don't really understand much of the history of our country. And just very briefly, and this is on my website and my articles, and I talk about this, and that is in 1783, there was a Treaty of Paris, and the Treaty of Paris ended the war between the colonies in Great Britain. And if you read the Treaty of Paris, it says that there are 13 sovereign nations. That is, each state was a nation. And these states came together as principals in 1787, and they created the federal government as their agent. And principals can always fire their agents. And so, and if you read the ratification documents of Rhode Island, New York, and Virginia, they specifically say in the documents that if the federal government becomes abusive of the powers that we have delegated to the federal government, we have the right to rescind those powers. That is, we have the right to secede. And so most Americans do not understand the they think that the war was solely to end slavery, but the war was for much more than that. And so, but however, the winners of any war write its history, and so the Confederacy has just they've gotten really a bad name, and I think that I think that this anti-Confederacy movement is just maybe one more step towards towards abolishing many of our symbols.
That's low-key fascinating because I literally did not know that. Like, it just makes more sense. We just seceded from Great Britain, this monarchy that just ruled over us incessantly. So it just like makes sense. Wouldn't you want the power to be decentralized to the states? I guess the founding fathers were like sharp as a tack. Like, they knew power corrupts. It's just a human condition. If you give someone power, they're just gonna want more and more and more. They're never gonna be satisfied. When did we go from a Confederate nation to any mention of the Confederacy is just straight up racist? Because that's what I actually believed up until watching this video. That was just what I was taught in school, so I just thought it was normal, you know?
One can argue whether the Confederacy was right in seceding, and you don't have to be for slavery. You can be against slavery, but that's an independent argument. Did they have the right to secede? And all the evidence suggests, yes, they did have the right to secede because the states were principals and they came together and created the federal government. That is, most Americans today they virtually think that the states are a creation of the federal government. And matter of fact, that's the way Congress acts, that the states are a creation of the federal government, but it's actually the opposite.
I literally had no idea of any of this. I mean, it's just a tale as old as time. History is written by the victors. Like, I'm sure if the Confederacy won that war, our interpretation of the Civil War would be completely different. It would not be anything alike. It actually reminds me of a quote that I heard one time. I think it went something like, "It's a misfortune for the dead man that his enemy outsurvives him, because he writes his story." We can never be sure if something written down in history is factual or not. No one would ever know because I wasn't there, you weren't there, and there's no way that we can know for 100% certainty. And his interpretation of this, I've literally never heard this before. Nothing like this has ever been uttered to my face ever before. All that I heard was the Civil War, North good guys, South bad guys. The North wanted to free the slaves, and the South were the bad people who wanted to keep slaves. That was my interpretation of the Civil War. Looking back, it just seems too simple. Like, history is not as simple as that, black and white. There's always gray lines, and you never know fully what was going on. It really is interesting to think about because our country is a bunch of states that create a country. We're not a country that created states. Let me know in the comments, did you know the history of this, or is this just brand new to you as well? I would like to know, and if you enjoyed, make sure to smash a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what I should react to next. I'd be happy to do it. Take it easy, y'all. Until next time.